Hello and welcome to my first WWE 2K17 build-up video. I thought in the first video it would be a good idea to do a little bit of a roster analysis. Who's in, who's out, who's missing, who's oddly missing, and who's oddly in. So without further ado, let me begin by just throwing some statistics your way. You may have just heard a page waft. I have a book here. I've done some preparation for this video. So, in absolute total, how many potential character models you could count in the game? Last year we had 172, including DLC, managers, and including duplicates, such as including Hunter Hearst Helmsley, DX Triple H, and current Triple H, or including Ministry Undertaker, current Undertaker, and Biker Undertaker, who was DLC, I believe, was it? Maybe? I don't know. Don't remember. But anyway, if you take out the duplicates, there was 118 by my counting. In this game, there's only 5 confirmed DLC / duplicates, which is 2 Goldbergs, and then the NXT bonuses: Apollo Crews, Nia Jackson, Shinsuke Nakamura. So there's 131-ish, because I'll come back to that, without including those, 136 including those. So they've added 22 new, as in not in 2K16, not necessarily brand new, but new-ish characters. They've removed at least 39. Now the reason I say at least, and the reason why there's a bit of disagreement, is because there's a couple of people that just jump off the page as not being here when we scroll through. So allow me to take you through to the first gap, if you like. Right, so they were released in waves, and all the waves have been announced, have been alphabetized. So the whole list isn't alphabetized, but each wave, if you like, each reveal is. So there's Kofi Kingston, right there. You can see my mouse on him, hopefully. Settings should allow for that. And there's Xavier Woods. Now, if you look in this reveal, where would be the obvious place to have included him, there's no Big E. No Big E whatsoever. So I assume that's an oversight on 2K's part, and he's actually in the game. So that would put the total count up to 137, 132, not including DLC or managers or dupes. The other one, the other absentee. Now, where is the clue for this one? Here. Lana isn't on this page, and Lana seems like a really obvious inclusion, especially because she's been sort of heavily involved in a high-profile feud recently. So I think Lana's probably in the game, taking the count up to 138, 133, not including DLC or duplicates. So that would mean that only 39 have been removed. I highly doubt either of those were missing. So let's work with the numbers 138 in the game, or 133, not including DLC. Now, it's still not an accurate representation, because they haven't announced the DLC yet, so we don't know who's going to be DLC. And one thing that all these superstars do have in common, I mean, we could see Maurice. I don't know if she came back a little bit too late for that, but one thing that they do seem to have in common is none of them are designated managers. So I don't think they've announced all the managers that will be in the game, if there's going to be any. Maybe the ones like the McMahons here could be, but they certainly don't appear to have announced them all, because there were quite a few managers in 2K16, so I'd be surprised if they did it down. Because of the ones who have been removed, we've got Zeb Coulter, who hasn't been on TV, so maybe he won't be in it. We've got X-Pac, doesn't appear to be in this game, but he's been replaced by Road Dogg, weirdly enough. Has X-Pac done something where WWE want to distance themselves? Who knows? William Regal, but he's not wrestled like in quite a while now, but he was an active wrestler. But then we've got like Ted DiBiase, who was a manager. We've got Sensational Sherry, we've got Rosa Mendes, which I'm sure everyone's devastated that Rosa Mendes isn't currently announced in the game. Paul Heyman, again unlikely to be missing, so actually I'd hazard to put that count up to 139 as almost definite, because I imagine Paul Heyman will have to be in the game, especially with his boy being the cover star. So yeah, Paul Bearer, been taken out, Pat Patterson, Joe Briscoe, Miss Elizabeth, Lana, again we've already touched on, Jimmy Hart, Bobby Heenan, Brad Maddox is obviously not going to be there because he said a naughty word. And apparently Brock Lesnar can do that, but Brad Maddox can't. What do you know? And Colonel Robert Parker, who was obviously really only there for Steve Austin's showcase mode, but still he was in the game. So yeah, that's a lot of managers. So I'm guessing they're going to include at least some managers. Maybe we'll see Bob Backlund because he's currently managing Darren Young, something like that. So yeah, there's a few absentees who are noteworthy for a few different reasons. Adam Rose has obviously left. However, who was it I noticed? There was someone I noticed who was still in, despite having left around the same time, and I can't think for the life of me who it was. Anyway, Adam Rose is gone. I'm just going to have a quick glance through. Batista's gone, which I'd have thought they'd have had some sort of working relationship with Batista and still included him, because I imagine a lot of people like to play as him on the games, so maybe they should have kept him included. Let's have a look. Cameron appears to be missing, again, just like Rosa Mendes, but everyone is going to be pining after her. Colonel Mustafa and General Adnan, who were, again, quite situational specific. The whole Nation of Domination, so the only one who will be in is the current incarnation of Mark Henry, but past Mark Henry, D'Lo Brown, Farouk, and Cameron Mustafa are missing. Damien Mizdown, now did I miss him? Because I heard that he was announced. So have they taken some off the page just to appease WWE, but they'll be in the game like Damien Sandow? Because I thought they'd announced Damien Sandow. But maybe I'm mistaken. Let's just have a quick look through at all the areas he could be in. Nope, doesn't appear to be a Sandow. Okay, so I think that was the one I was thinking of actually that had been kept in. Dustin Rhodes is available as DLC. They've left Gold Dustin but not Dustin Rhodes. Interesting. Let's see who else. Haku, one of the few legends to have been taken out. He wasn't DLC either. They were sort of making a big deal out of the fact that they've included all the past legends, but Honky Tonk Man's not there either. Let's have a look. Ken Shamrock, that was obviously a one-time thing. Wade Barrett, King Barrett, Bad News Barrett, whatever you want to call him, he's missing from this one. Which, again, it's either they're just not on the website, because I'm only going off what's on the website, because I didn't go through all the roster reveals just to double check my stats, so some of it might be slightly out, so let me know in the comment section down below if anything I'm saying is slightly wrong. But they, Adam Rose, Sandow, Barrett, they were definitely all still in the company at the potential cut-off point. So they've either been politically removed by WWE, like they've nixed having their characters in the game, or it's been taken off the website but they'll be in the game, or something's happened there. Anyway, who else? Layla's going to be missing. Mikey Whipwreck, which again was just to do with, but it's just to do with the showcase mode. But once you've got the sort of permission to do it, I would have done a sort of longer term deal, and because if there's one thing that frustrates me, I don't know if this gets anyone else, but it really bugs me, is taking things out of games. And that includes characters, like where you can avoid it. So obviously sometimes politics and stuff will get in the way, but where you can avoid it, I doubt anything political has happened between Michael Whipwreck and WWE in the last year. So why not include them? Paul White, but that doesn't count because Big Show's still in. Obviously he was just like a past Big Show to include for the showcase mode. Roddy Piper, I don't think has been announced for this one. Ryback, he's the other one who was definitely in the company at the time when this roster would have been finalised. So has it been taken off the website or has it been taken off the game? Only one way to find out, and that's when the game lands, really, isn't there? Santino has finally gone off the game. I think that's a shame. They do seem to still have quite a good working relationship with WWE and Santino. Just leave him in the game, you know, like, is it really going to be too much of a stretch to leave a couple of these character models and movesets in the game? Savio Vega, I know everyone's devastated about him having left, him not being in the game. Sergeant Slaughter, there's a legend who's out of it, who's gone missing. Stevie Ray, because obviously there was 2 incarnations of Booker T, now there'll only be 1. And obviously Harlem Heat, Booker T was one of them with his brother Stevie Ray. And the Terminator DLCs, which I think was to be expected, but again, could they not have done a longer term deal with Arnie? You know, am I expecting too much here? William Regal, X-Pac, you know. Now, the last thing I want to cover, like, it bugs me that people have been removed from the game, but I understand sometimes it's necessary. I don't think all of those were necessary to remove, but I understand why they might have removed some of them, and I understand that some of them might not have been removed. That number, that 138, may go up, because there's your likes of Adam Rose, Ryback, Barrett, Sandow. Oh, that's the one, actually. Stardust is in the game. Stardust, Cody Rhodes left at roughly the same time, or at least fell out with them at roughly the same time as all those names I've just mentioned, and yet he's in the game and the others aren't. So maybe they'll appear, maybe we'll add an extra 4 on or something. Anyway, last thing I want to cover is new people, new superstars. So we have Apollo Crews, who is going to be a DLC presumably at some point in the future, unless you've pre-ordered the NXT edition, which I have. So that'll be fun. I really like Apollo Crews, by the way, as a person. I met him before he joined WWE when he was called Uhaa Nation. He was wrestling over here for an indie company in the UK, sort of visiting, I should say, not like full time. And he was a top guy, really nice, and great athletic ability. I don't know what WWE are doing with him, like just sort of wasting him, but he's got a lot of potential. Braun Strowman's new, which they're trying to make a big deal out of Braun Strowman. Can take him or leave him. Charlotte's new. The women's division, the female superstars have had such an overhaul in this game. So, looking forward to playing with some of those. Nia Jax, she's again an NXT pre-order. Shinsuke Nakamura, an NXT pre-order. Probably the best reason to buy that version, if I'm honest. AJ Styles, probably the best reason to buy the game, full stop. He's in the game now for the first ever time in a WWE game. Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, these are all the women now. Dana Brooke, Carmella, let's have a look, Sasha Banks, Asuka, Bayley. They're all in for the first time. The women's division has had such a boost since last year's game. Admittedly, some of those people felt should have been in the last game, like people complaining that Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha and Becky weren't in last year's game, but they're in this year's, so you know, it's all good now. We've also got the Dudley Boys in for one last hurrah in the WWE games, which is great. Alberto Del Rio, who, yesterday has already now left again, but he didn't make the cut for the last game, he just made the cut for this one, and presumably won't be cut out at this late stage. A couple of tag teams, we've got the Revival from NXT, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. We've got American Alpha, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, who are just the best tag team on the planet. Goldberg is obviously returning new, if you like, returning/new. And then Road Dogg, which I mentioned before, is just sort of randomly included. There he is. There's one of them on the screen, right there. So, yeah, interesting. Interesting that some of the decisions of who they've taken out, some of the decisions of who they're deciding to include, like Road Dogg and what have you. I imagine there'll still be some surprises to come in the DLC announcement, which I'm not a fan of, but I'm not going to get into a rant about predetermined DLC right now. That can be another topic for another video. So let me know in the comment section down below, who are you most excited to play as that's a newcomer? So out of the 22, I think I said, new superstars, who are you most excited to play as? Who are you most disappointed isn't included in the list out of the ones that I said were left out? And that could just sort of like a double-headed question of the day there, where you can let me know a couple of things. Who are you most excited to play as that's new, and who are you most disappointed you won't be able to play as in the new games? I know, Rosa Mendes, right? It's either Rosa Mendes or I've even forgotten her name. Is it Carmen? The other Funkadactyl. Yeah, her. She's the other one, isn't she? So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you're excited for WWE 2K17. It will be coming to this channel as soon as it releases, and there will be more news coming your way, so make sure you leave a like so I know you enjoy this type of video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here so you can see more of this sort of content and you're ready for the 2K17 drop so you can watch my series on here. And don't forget to share with your friends if you think they'd enjoy. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been Ibeza, you've been amazing, and I will see you next time.